This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, alongside my co-host, halfway around the world, the Primus Tim Hendricks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Still trying to get over the pearls of wisdom for week 2 from Crispy Bacon last night on Primetime Blitz. If you weren't lucky enough to catch it, I think this ranks right up there with some of in the pantheon of all the greatest things I've ever heard said about sports. Got to quote Crispy Bacon on this because this has got to be the greatest thing I've heard in a long time. If you got the lead, you got to keep it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's up there alongside your quote from the other day that it was football season, your nipples are hard or something like that. Yeah, so let's get into – well, before we get into our topics, I know we don't talk too much politics, and we try not to, but yesterday the States had another shooting, the school shooting, and then a shooting of a politician. Just want to, think of all the families and everybody affected by that, and somewhere this has got to stop. I don't know how it's going to stop, but this is kind of getting sickening. We're a month in and now I think this is the third school shooting, and then at a rally or whatever, you lose a person that's 31 with the family. Thing is just because you don't agree with the views doesn't mean you have to force your views onto them. So. But Tim, what's your thoughts on the stuff going on? I know you're overseas, so
it's just if I hear about it, it's bad. It's bad enough because normally I don't like getting my news from Facebook or anything else like that. But I completely agree with you. You may have difference of opinions, but you kind of have to. Again, this brings up the whole spitting thing from last night. If you have different opinions, don't try to force it on somebody. If you don't agree with them and they don't agree with you, and you can't seem to find middle ground, walk away.
Yep.
Believe me, it's a whole lot easier. And for these school shootings, this is is becoming a broken record that needs to be fixed. And I'm glad I don't have. I'm glad I don't have kids in the United States school system because I would literally be afraid to look at my phone every day. I've got family members that have kids in the school system. You've got Jackson in the school system. I've got a grandchild on the way that I'm gonna get a little afraid. I'm gonna get a little afraid. Something's got to change, and somebody's got to put their foot down. Somebody's got to put their foot down in the right way, not the wrong way.
Yep. Yeah. And I know the schools are doing their best to protect and they always show all the, security measures they're taking. So props to them. But yeah, it's gotta end somewhere. But speaking of that, 9/11, first off, happy birthday to my sister Crystal. But 9/11, I mean, this is a big day in history, the biggest day I think in our history. We weren't around for World War I, II, some of that. But for me, I remember I was driving to a meeting for a job I had for a new system that we're putting in place. So they had a little training seminar. Listened to a radio station. They broke in with the first plane hitting. I thought they were joking, so I turned it to another station. And as soon as I did that, the second plane hit. Traffic on the freeway stopped. People were pulling over. I got to my meeting. That's all they had on their TV was that. I saw the I think it was the second building that fell first. But yeah, 9/11 is going to live strong. Here, definitely something we're never going to forget. Seen some documentaries on people checking in, and there's one I won't forget. The guy said that he had a gut feeling, didn't follow through on it, and so he takes blame for some of it. It happens, man. But Tim, what's your thoughts and your recollection of 9/11?
I was in college. I was going to college. I was in the computer lab getting ready to write. I was in the middle of writing my paper, and I went to the desk at Bay College and looking at the screen and just seeing smoke pouring from the first tower. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh, and I remember the girl behind the desk saying somebody with a single engine plane flew into the building. And I looked at it and going, that's not a single engine plane. That thing was just too small. Because I've never seen the World Trade Center because I hadn't been to New York until after. And the World Trade Center is just big. It's just they were just big buildings. And yeah, there's something to put a hole in it that the size that it did would have been. It had to be big, and I remember saying, "No, that's something huge." And just as soon as I says, "No, that can't be," and just as soon as he says, "No, it can't be," the second one hits the tower. And watching it all live on TV, it was just basically you're glued to the TV. It went from me standing there talking to the person behind the desk to everybody from the computer lab sitting there standing up, about 35, 40 people, all watching a TV, no bigger than the size of a 27-inch TV. And it was just strange. And then you start hearing stuff roll in. And then you're listening and you're leaving school to go to work. And all the news. The local news was talking about, well, I don't know, but they could possibly evacuate the Great Lakes because of all the fresh water that the Great Lakes they go in, because you didn't know nothing. We have everything figured out, and I've watched a lot of things about 9/11 as well, and they were just I watched the World Trade Center with Nicolas Cage, and he said we had nothing. And it's absolutely truth. They had no idea. They had no plans. They knew exactly what. It was funny that they knew exactly what to do because we had no clue, and we still had no clue after the bombing from earlier at the World Trade Center. And they knew how to hit us, when to hit us, and how hard to hit us. And that's the thing that should have scared us more than we lost life. Was the fact is they knew how to hit us, and they could keep hitting us without us paying attention.
Yep. No, exactly. So, yeah, they will never forget in history. So, all right. So let's move on to our list. Finishing up here, we got 6 more NFL teams. Week 1 in the books. Week 2 coming up. So we're going to break down the 6 teams and their greatest players of all time. So we're going to kick it off with 2 of the youngest teams in the league. We're going to kick it off with the Panthers first. They had a good list. I didn't agree with much of it, but so I'm going to say we got 3. I'm going to start off with the infamous 3.
The infamous 3. I think we can do 4. I have faith in 4.
Okay.
And I started doing double ups.
Okay.
Ooh, I haven't done a double up until just now, so
yeah, I got 1 this week. So
I've got more than 1. I just wasn't sure, but I definitely got 1 in the Panthers.
All right. Well, kick it off.
All right. So there haven't been that many running backs that went into the Carolina Panthers. But when they did, and Sarge is going, wait, they're doing the Carolina Panthers. I want to see how they screw this up. But I like the backfield they had. I think it was about the time they had Jake Delhomme. I could be a little mistaken. But they were perfect complements for each other. The one was a great scat back. The other one was a great power runner who got out of the backfield really well. My number 5 is D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. I want to say Stewart.
Yeah.
I want to say Stewart. I definitely want to say Stewart.
Yeah, because I think there was 2 Jonathan Stewarts at that time.
And the other one played for the Jaguars.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go with one thing I noticed with the Panthers. They had a lot of good defensive players. I'm going to go with linebacker. I think he was on the original inaugural team. I'm going with Sam Mills.
Funny, he's going to come up in another one for me.
All right.
That's the other double up. That's where my other double up is.
All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. There's going to be a lot of people that disagree why he's so low. I still think if this quarterback was smart enough to drop to fall in a fumble in the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos, I think he might be a little higher on the list. This bugs the crap out of him. So if you ever see him, tell him this. The former backup to Tim Tebow at the University of Florida, who had to leave because Tim Tebow was coming back and he had to go to a junior college, and then got his national championship at another school. The guy who perfected the Superman touchdown celebration with the Carolina Panthers, I think it's stupid, but that's just me. I don't have to like it. Probably the best quarterback they've had. It's not saying much. They haven't had that many. So they had Kerry Collins, but this isn't Kerry Collins because he went to Penn State. But my number 4 is Cam Newton.
Oh, you're not taking the Gator, Chris Weinke from Minnesota?
He went to Florida State. Weinke went to Florida State.
You're right. My number 4 is another linebacker, Luke Keechley. I'm not gonna.
No, you're great. That was perfect.
Yeah. All right, you're number 3.
My number 3 is a wide receiver who everybody right now claims he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's got to wait, like the rest of us, like Reggie Wayne, but finished his career with the Baltimore Ravens. I think the guy's a stud. Just sometimes he runs his mouth a little bit too much. I think he does some stuff for Vice for what was it, Rivalry, Rivals. I like his takes because sometimes there's some crazy ass takes. But this was another guy that there was 2 of this guy's name in the league too.
Oh.
It's like Jonathan Smith. The other one could have showed up on another team if he would have been really, really good. But my number 3 is Steve Smith.
All right. Well, let's kick it off here. The phrase that pays. My number 3 is your number 4, Cam Newton. Injury, I think, cut his career short. The guy who pretty much now is between him and Dante Culpepper is the prototypical quarterback. You want somebody big but fast, that can move and throw at the same time. I know Patrick Mahomes has kind of reinvented that quarterback to be able to throw at any different angle, but I think at the time those 2, Cam Newton and Dante were the quarterback that you wanted. So, all right, you're number 2.
Well, I'll make you feel a whole lot better right now. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 2 is your number 4. I love Luke Kuechly. I think he retired early too because I think it was because of his injuries that he prolonged injuries. But this guy was right up there with some of the best linebackers that we've had in the last decade. And so, when he left, it was kind of a slap in the face. And this guy, I know he's not in the Hall of Fame, but this guy should be in the Hall of Fame soon.
Yep. Well, we'll keep it going. The phrase that pays. Your number My number 2 is your number 3, Steve Smith. I mean, yeah, if he's not, he should represent the Panthers in the Hall of Fame for sure. But yeah, who knows when he's going to get in the. They got the weird. I mean, they got a lot of people to put in the Hall of Fame, and I think they limited it to like 5 to 7 or something like that. Or
yeah, I think it's just 7. I think it's 5.
Yeah,
and
5 is the minimum. If they get less than that, they don't have a Hall of Fame class. So
right.
All right. Well, you're number 1.
Well, my number 1. This guy should go in as a Carolina Panther. Everybody remembers everything about what he did in Green Bay, what he did in Chicago. To me, this guy was the face of the Carolina Panthers. Kind of, I think these are all people that we all wish we had on our team. My number 1 is Julius Peppers.
Yep, number 1. I mean, you got him there first, but yeah, Peppers another one that definitely needs to be in the Hall as a Panther. I mean, he was scary in everywhere he went. You just did not know how to match up against him. You double teamed him, that freed up somebody else. So if they had a couple of good defensive players, it was hard to double team him every time. So we got 4 off the bat. Let's go to the other newest team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, this one I could see 5 in this one. I'm gonna go 4.
I got a double up here too.
Okay, I'm going 4.
All right, I like your 4.
All right. Well, let's go with the hefty lefty from Green Bay who got moved over to Jacksonville to be their franchise quarterback and actually done pretty well over there. I'm going Mark Brunell.
Well, let's start it off early. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. I was lucky enough to meet Mark Brunell while he was still in Green Bay. Think of the quarterback room that Green Bay had at that time. Brett Favre, Ty Detmer, a Heisman Trophy winner, Mark Brunell, and then Kurt Warner. Yeah. 2 of those guys are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Brunell's probably one of those ones that could make a case for it, but probably won't make a case for it.
I think the thing that hurts him the most is the fact that he played on so
many.
He
got a title for one.
That one, and he never won an MVP.
Yeah,
he never.
The accolades are going to kill him.
Yeah, accolades kill him. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, I'm going number 4 here. Running backs' careers are cut short, but when they are productive, they are Hall of Fame caliber, and he's one of them. Maurice Jones-Drew. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. I remember this. It's 4 for 4. It's 4. My 4 is your 4. I watched the combine with this guy, and I looked at his thighs, and I'm like, he hit somebody, he's going to kill somebody. Yep. That guy's got thighs for days. That guy's got monster thighs. But yeah, my number 4 is like your number 4, MJD.
Yep. And let's keep it going on the backfield side. I mean, I think this is one where, again, if the career could be longer, he's putting up numbers. But back then when when he was in the league, it was one running back. He carried the ball 20, 25 times. Maybe got a break on 3rd down. I got Fred Taylor at number 3.
Got him. Remember, he shared a backfield there for a brief period of time with Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yep.
Near the end of Fred's career. Holy hell. This one's my double up.
Okay.
And Mark Brunell had to throw to somebody. One was a free agent they were both of them were part of the expansion draft. One came from the Washington Redskins, the other one came from the Dallas Cowboys. Bet you Dallas wishing they had that one back. But my number 3 is Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardle.
All right. Well, the phrase that pays at number 2. Part of your number 3, like you said, Brunell and the quarterback crew had to throw to somebody. I got Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, we're getting all 5. I know it right now. We're getting all 5.
All right, your number 2.
My number 2 is the first Hall of Famer in Jacksonville Jaguars history. I think this, rightfully so, there should be another one in there, but he'll get in soon enough. This guy was hands down the best lineman they've ever had. I love big hog mollies like that. My number 2 is Tony Baselli.
My number 1 is your number 2, Tony Baselli. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was he not a part of the Houston Texans expansion draft too?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't believe
thought
so.
he was the first player to get drafted by 2 different expansion teams.
He might have been, but he wasn't part of the expansion draft. He was originally drafted by the Jaguars.
Oh, was he drafted
Yeah.
by the Jaguars? Okay.
But I'm not sure if he played for Houston. I know he's the executive, and
I could be wrong. I might be thinking somebody else.
He was in 2002. He went there.
Okay.
But he's the executive vice president of football operations now over in Jacksonville. But yeah, he was there in 2002. But I think he's the only one to. He was originally drafted by Jacksonville with the 2nd pick.
Maybe that's what it is. He was a first round pick on both.
Right, because I think he was a first pick. I think he was a first pick by the Houston Texans in the expansion draft. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Well, you're number 1.
Well, my number 1 is not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 1 is your number 3, Fred Taylor. Guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely, hands down, should be in the Hall of Fame.
I get it. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we went 5 for 5 with Tim's.
I was going to go. Believe me, we were going to go 5 for 5, but McCardell came in when I saw Jimmy Smith. I'm like, I'm putting McCardell.
I forgot about McCardell, but yeah, that was a good one. So, all right. So let's move over to the Saints, a team that,
Spencer Rattler.
I think I just noticed what you're talking about now. All right. I'm going to go 3 on this one.
3.
I think it's going to be tough, I think.
I could see 4. I have a double up here. But I can see 4.
All right, let's go ahead.
Probably people will argue with me thinking that Marquise Colston is probably the best receiver they've ever had. I kind of disagree. His kid's actually in the league now too. JC is in the league. My number 5, his kid's in the league. This guy was scary good, and I'm not talking about Jerome Pathon. That guy got lucky on one game. But my number 5 is Joe Horn.
Oh, I forgot about Horn. Yeah. My number 5 is a linebacker. I just noticed I had him on the Panthers. I have him here. Sam Mills.
You want to know the funny thing is the guy that I got double up with was teammates on both the Saints and the Panthers.
All right, you're number 4.
Let's see, my number 4. Well, my number 4. It's not C2C and slash you're half sniping. My number 4 is part of your Carolina Panthers team and and the one you just came up with, and then the guy that was lined up right next to him. And most people don't realize that he was a small linebacker. That my number 4B was a small linebacker for the time, because everybody remembers that Zach Thomas was my height. He's 5'11", 6 foot, 235, a smallish guy out of Texas Tech. But most people didn't realize that number 57 for the Saints and the Carolina Panthers was a smallish linebacker too. I think he was 6 foot or 6'1", and which is abnormal for that size, because you think about linebackers being 6'3", 6'4". But every time I looked at the Saints defense, you always saw Sam Mills, and then you saw my number 4B, and they both scared the living hell out of me. And I was so happy that I never made the league at that time or ever. But my number 4B is Ricky Jackson.
All right. My number, and they called him. They called him the. Uh, what the heck was their name? They had a defensive name like Doom or Gloom or something like that because they played indoors.
Right.
My number 4. Well, you mentioned him and you thought he was, and I'm not going to disagree, but I kind of forgot about Joe Horn. So, but my number 4 is the receiver that kind of came to me when you presented this team, Marcus Colston.
Yeah, I remember. I remember him.
You're number 3.
My number 3. Is a guy who at the time there was like 3, 4, 5, 6 deuces in the league, and everybody's thinking Alvin Kamara is the running back, but I remember this guy like he was a nightmare. I loved having him in fantasy football because he put numbers up, almost Kamara like numbers. Yep. So it's almost like between him and Darren Sproles. Between Kamara, Darren Sproles, and my number 3, they just put up numbers left, right, and center, and it was always fun to watch. And my number 3 spent a lot of time in the backfield with Darren Sproles. My number 3 is Deuce McAllister.
Good one. Well, I'm going with we're gonna go with some beef up the middle. I'll go with Willie Rolfe, the tackle. You're number 2.
So it's not C2C unless we're sniping. I love hog mollies, and this is probably one of the best of all time. Yeah, my number 2 is your number 3, Willie Rolfe.
All right. Well, the phrase that pays is get a lot of play early. My number 2 is your number 5, half of your number 5, Ricky Jackson.
Number 4.
Number 4. Oh yeah, you yep. All right.
So that means my number 1 gets to snipe you right here.
Yep.
Yeah. If the Miami Dolphins didn't let this guy walk out of didn't let them walk out of the building, he'd be the face of the franchise behind Dan Marino in New Orleans. Gets pushed out of San Diego because of Phillip Rivers because they were so worried about his shoulder. Well, he goes and takes a Super Bowl from my team, which I'm still not happy about, but I'm happy I'm happy the Saints got the Super Bowl because it happened after the year after Katrina. So I'm happy that they got it. But my number 1 is Drew Brees.
Yep. My number 1 is also Drew Brees. You know, you talk about the guy that, left the team because the team didn't want him because of his shoulder. But yeah, goes out there and I think every year was like 4,000 to 5,000 passing yards, 20 to 25 touchdowns, even more. I think, too, yeah, it was good that they got the Super Bowl, but I think that's when a lot of conspiracy theories started happening that the Saints needed something after Katrina and blah, 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 and all that. But, definitely Drew Brees. If you know football, he's got to be your number 1. So,
well, you think about it. Think about that Super Bowl, the Super Bowl that New Orleans went to. The New Orleans went to the Super Bowl, and they played against New Orleans' favorite son and Peyton Manning.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, there's a little script there.
Yeah. All right, let's go into this next team, the Tennessee Titans / Houston Oilers. We combined them both. It'll be interesting to see how many technically Titans we have on here because I think a lot of it's Houston side of things. I will kick it off. Quarterback I love.
How many?
How many we got? How many?
I'm
going
thinking
to go 4. I could see 5, but I don't think we're going to get 5.
I like 4. I can see 5, but like I'm with you. I think 4 is probably safe.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a quarterback I loved. Another big quarterback. I'm going to go with lefty Steve Air McNair. You're number 5.
My number 5, I'm going on the defensive side of the ball. That's because the only guy I can remember on this defense. Yeah, I looked up lists and lists and lists, and this is the only guy. Of course, he played for the University of Florida. When you have hands that are like catcher's mitts and you're playing defensive line in the NFL, but the thing is, he was quick. That thing is his first step was quick. He made there, and he was something to watch. Not only just at Florida, but everywhere he stopped at, and it's just he was scary to watch. And the reason why he was called the freak for a reason is because he was freakish at everything he did. My number 5 is Javon Curse.
Oh yeah, Javon Curse. Yeah, that was a big one. So, what's up, Kevin? Surprised you're up this early. Thanks for joining the show. My number 4 is a guy that I believe started at least 90% of the games on the offensive line, played all 5 positions. I had a brother in the league. I believe is a Hall of Fame or should be a Hall of Fame, but offensive lineman Bruce Matthews.
Yeah, he's in the league. He's yeah. How did I miss that one? Because I didn't. No, because I did, but I did. I missed Bruce. I missed Bruce Matthews. I'm not gonna lie. So there goes our 5 at this point. It might be there goes our 4.
Well, yeah, our 5 was gone when you said Pepper or Curse.
Javon Curse. Yeah.
All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. The thing that made me sick to my stomach is when this guy went to the Dallas Cowboys. It made me feel sick because it didn't seem right that he wore a star on his helmet. It was bad enough that he played at the Horseshoe in Ohio State, won the Heisman Trophy. The guy's, but the thing is, everything you ever hear about this guy, he's one of a kind. He's generous. He's kind-hearted, but he was a hell of a back. And he looked great in those powdered blues. Those powder blues for the Houston Oilers were so pretty. My number 4 is Eddie George.
Oh, I forgot about Eddie George.
Well, we're not getting 3 at this point.
No, no, because I got a current player here. And
no current players.
yeah, and the thing is, it's probably one of those things that just jumped in my head when you brought up the team. Gotta go with King Henry. But yeah, definitely Eddie George is up there. I should have had Eddie George on this list. But yeah, King Henry for sure.
Funny thing is about the Texans Titans / Oilers, you get an all 5 of these guys being running backs, and it'd have been okay.
I still have one more left. So
me too.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3 is not C2. I want to hold on. No, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 3 is your number 5, Steve McNair. I think that he was in Baltimore too.
Yeah.
But yeah, shame how his life ended. That kind of sucked. I remember that hearing that news was like a kick in the face.
And I think that's too. And I brought it up before. I think that's where Vince Young kind of went off the deep end a little bit. I think so too. I think so too. And I think him and McNair had a good relationship going.
They did. It was, and the thing is, I think Vince Young didn't Vince Young paying for Steve McNair's kids to go through college or something? I guess something like that. So. But yeah, I don't know if you got a chance on Netflix to watch a documentary about Steve McNair. It's about Untold. It's one of the Untold series.
Okay, I'll check it out. My number 2 is another running back. What can you say? But Earl Campbell. All right, you're number 2.
I think our 1 and 2s are flip flopped.
Yep.
But I'm still upset that I had a line on and I'm going to say this. I had a line almost 30 years ago on a box of 1985 Topps football, and the guy wanted $1,000 for it because of who the rookies were in that set, and there was only one rookie, and it was this one. And I think that he went to University of Washington, and then he goes and plays in the Canadian Football League for the Edmonton Eskimos, and then all of a sudden, Houston gets this basically the golden goose there in his lap. And then there was some other team that got him, that team that was some like purple and yellow.
Yep.
And I think the quarterback, matter of fact, he was the quarterback when I went to that Minnesota game against Denver way back when. Guy had how many records? I think he still holds the professional record for professional between NFL and CFL combined passing yards. I think it's somewhere in the 80,000 range.
Yeah.
But my number 2 is Warren Moon.
Yep. The second jersey I owned ever was a Warren Moon jersey. But yes, it was again another name that you say Houston Oilers, he's got to be up there. But yeah, you're number 1.
My number 1 is not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 1 is your number 2, the Yellow Rose of Texas himself, Earl Campbell.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got 3. So let's move over to the New York Giants. I got my double up here.
Did I put the Jets on here too?
No.
No, okay. Like you said, the Giants. I'm like, wait, did I put the Jets on here too? Okay, we're good. I don't have a double up.
All right. God. Again, I can take five without the double up. I'll go. Man.
I would go 3 best.
Yeah, I'm thinking 3 or 4. Well, let's go with 3. So kick it off.
I'm gonna get the history lesson. For some reason, Green Bay thought it was necessary that they needed to pick this guy up at the end of his career, way back in the 60s or 70s. But he had, matter of fact, he was the quarterback during the 1957 NFL championship game against Baltimore. Sorry, but one of the kids, he's got one of the greatest names that kids laugh at when you hear his last name, and it's just like you can't be 12 and not think of 12-year-old things. But my number 5 is Y.A. Tittle.
All right, well, 5's out the door. My number 5 is a guy that was read his bio. He was the typical utility guy. Played everywhere if needed. He was selected to the Pro Bowl at 3 different positions. I'm going with Frank Gilford.
Oh, thank God.
You're number 4.
My number 4, it's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 4 is your number 4. Number 5, Frank Gifford.
Oh, I thought maybe
I still remember the picture of Frank Gifford laying on the field, and Bronco Nagurski looked like he had just killed a man.
My number 4 is pretty good running back. I mean, he did a lot of things for them, except take them to the title game. Of course, the year after he leaves, he gets I forgot who it was. ESPN. Oh, maybe it was when Justin Timberlake hosted. Made fun of it, and when the Giants won the Super Bowl, and said that Tiki missed out on it. My number 4 is Tiki Barber.
I thought you went Saquon.
Well, I have no more.
I've never had a current player for this team.
All right.
So my number 3.
You're number 3, yeah.
My number 3, to this day, I think a lot of people who don't know much about football know this guy for being on Good Morning America, because they don't know any better. There will be Jet fans that will think that he was gifted a sack to break Mark Gastineau's record. Matter of fact, most of the NFL that aren't Giants fans believe that they were gifted a record. Still, they come from where he did, such a small school to become a Hall of Famer like he was. It's still impressive. And to think he was shy growing up, he doesn't seem too shy. My number 3 is Michael Strahan.
It's not C2C, the phrase that pays. At number 3, I got Michael Strahan too. I mean, the guy, like you said, Good Morning America. Now he's on Fox. He had a cameo in a certain movie with Channing Tatum, Kevin Nash, Fluffy, that group. And to think of it too, before he got on TV, they wanted him to fix his gap in his teeth. And he said no.
Well, most people knew him for his gap in it. The thing is, most people knew his gap. That was the weird thing.
Yep. Your number 2.
My number 2. I think our number 1 and 2 might be flipped and flopped. I'm not sure. But when you're the brother of the prodigal son of New Orleans and you have 2 Super Bowls and you beat another team that's on this list twice and you wreck Patriots fans' dreams and aspirations of having an undefeated season going through the Super Bowl, you are number 2 on my list anywhere. You don't even have to play for that team and you're on my list. My number 2 is the little baby brother of Peyton Manning himself, Eli Manning.
All right, the phrase that pays comes into play again. Half of my number 2 is your number 2, Eli Manning. I mean, I love when he accepted the award for best team, I think, for the ESPYs. And he said he wanted to thank his offensive line for not blocking for him in that immaculate catch. I also have another guy that won the Super Bowl for the Giants back in the late 80s, early 90s. Phil Simms on that list.
He's won a couple. He won a couple with them, too.
All right, you're number 1.
My number 1 is the reason why he's – my number 1 for the Carolina Panthers is the reason why my number 1 is for the Giants is the number 2 career sack leader in North Carolina, University of North Carolina. But what can you say between his – this is the only guy that I know that Oliver Stone has ever written a part for in a football movie. And you don't have to really write a script because Shark LeVay was LT. You know, what else can you say? The best line I ever heard him say was in Waterboys, and he says, "This brings me to my second point. Kids don't do drugs." And it's got to be the most apropos statement in the world because this guy is a known coke fiend. If he were on the Dallas Cowboys, he'd be like middle of the road when it came to drugs. But this guy, I love this guy. You know something's bad. You know something bad is when the guy who's supposed to be the baddest man on the planet in the NFL is calling for the medical staff to come over when he just basically destroyed Joe Theismann's leg. My number 1 is the OTCLT in the NFL, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, phrase that pays. I got LT there. Again, you said Giants. That's the first person I think of. You know, he played, like you said, pretty much himself in any given Sunday. I mean, that and then, like you said, too, the best line ever in Waterboy, or one of the best lines, is him saying, "Don't do drugs," like you said, for a guy that was known for it. But so we got 4. That being said, let's go to the team that dominated the 2000s, the Patriots. I can't wait to see where your list is on this.
I have a double up. I have a double up.
Really?
Yes, I do.
I'm
putting Tom Brady and Drew Brees together.
All right. I'm going to go with the 3 because they had some good talent, and depending on which way you go.
I think 3 is a really good possibility. Maybe 4. It depends if you paid attention to the defensive backs. Maybe 4.
I might have left one off of there. I think I know who you're thinking of, but I might have.
Okay.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
My number 5, we talk about Tom Brady, Drew Brees having to throw to somebody and Mark Riddell having to throw to somebody. Well, Tom Brady had to do. This guy probably best route runner they had, best over the middle guy. Wes Welker.
Ooh. Yeah, we may have problems with some. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's the New England
All right,
Patriots.
you're number 5.
I could have put the water boy on this team, and I'd have felt a whole lot better. And I can't stand this New England Patriots team. So you brought up the fact is that Tom Brady had to throw to somebody, much like Patrick Mahomes has to throw to somebody.
Yep.
Yeah, he's that low. That tells you everything. I want to know how great this guy's career is if Aaron Hernandez decided to not commit a murder, because Hernandez had just signed a contract. This team would have been great in a Ben Johnson system because they're double tight ends.
Yep.
But the guy is a former WWE title holder. So there's that. Oh, much like LT had a WWE champion, a WWE match in WrestleMania. But my number 5 is the guy that is just a complete and total head case, and yet still probably the smartest man in the league because he has spent no money from his NFL contract. He's only spent money from his endorsements. My number 5 is Rob Gronkowski.
Wow. I'm not surprised that you have him that low. I mean, but we'll go from there. My number 4 is probably up there in defensive ends, linebackers. The guy brought it. My number 4 is Richard Sherman.
Ooh, you went Sherman. Okay. We may have trouble getting 4.
Possibly. They had a good list.
New England's got a great list. That's the sad
number 4.
My number 4 is my double up. I know being a Colts fan, and yes, I'm going to put the Homer crap. Being a Colts fan and seeing New England every year, once a year, you didn't, and having Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison go downfield against the defensive backs that they had, it was scary enough as it was. But to have these two guys, it made it even worse. My number 4 is Ty Law and Lawyer Malloy.
Yep. And for a while there, I know they toyed around too towards the end of his career, having Troy Brown be back in the
Troy Brown, and then they had Rodney Harrison. I'm like, that defensive backfield was scary.
Yeah. My number 3 is another guy. You didn't want to run at him because he could take you down, but you couldn't run away from him because he had pretty decent speed for a linebacker. I'm going with Tony Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi, yeah.
Yeah.
You're number 2.
You heard about that? He had a stroke not too before a game, right? And yet he still comes back and plays in a Super Bowl. I got absolutely all the. But then again, he's a USC guy. They're kind of a little cracked in the head anyway. Yep. My number 3. I think this might be the only kicker that I have on any lists. Most definitely needs to be on this list. I think he could be on 2 lists with the Colts and the New England Patriots. The guy's going to the Hall of Fame. He'd make the 3rd kicker in the Hall of Fame. My number 3 is Adam Vinatieri.
I like it. Well, we're going to have definitely struggle getting 3 since we only have 2 spots left. My number 2 is your number 5, Rob Gronkowski. I mean, this guy was a beast. Like you said, who knows what his career would have been like if Hernandez didn't do what he did. He wrote a book. He's, wrestling. He's pretty decent at his job as Fox. I think that's where he's at.
He's at Fox, yeah.
One heck of a spike, and some girls claim that every time he did that, they got happy, which I doubt that, but Rob Gronkowski. You're number 2.
My number 2 is the only guy that on this list that did not play with Tom Brady. There's people out there. But this guy was part of the famous – was he part of the famous 84 draft? No, he was part of the 81 draft. the ever impressive 1981 draft. Guy's in the Hall of Fame. The guy is an absolute stud on the offensive line. You go to New England and they'll tell you. You ask them who their best offensive lineman is ever in that, and they come up with one person. And he had a brother that played in the league too. This wasn't that good, but in the Hall of Fame, played in the Hall of Fame game against the Super Bowl game against the Bears in '85. I think he retired before Green Bay played him in 95. But my number 2 is John Hanna.
All right, number 1. I know Tim's probably going to throw up in his mouth just like I did. But again, Drew Brees doesn't get hurt. Do we talk about this guy?
Bledsoe. You said
Bledsoe. I'm sorry. Yeah, Bledsoe doesn't get hurt. Do we talk about this guy? Being a late round pick out of Michigan, almost close to Mr. Irrelevant. I think he was drafted 6th round, somewhere around there.
7th round. Yeah, it was like 6 picks. He was 6 picks away from Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time just choking out the word "the GOAT" because I think
he's not. I'll say it.
It's hard to debate. I mean, that's one of the things that this would be a good debate topic. I mean, because he split his career in half, and he put up almost identical numbers. But again, too, he left the Patriots, went to the Bucs, which I think a lot of people wanted to see that. He ended up bringing the Bucs the title, so I think that kind of elevated him to the GOAT status. Terrible play-by-play guy.
He's horrible.
Now he's an owner of the Oakland Raiders. So, Las Vegas Raiders.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
That is one Mr. TB, the second TB12, Tom Brady.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. This is. I truthfully think the Tom Brady Peyton Manning rivalry kept the NFL going for so long. It makes you sick. But the thing is, I got to give him credit because he left Bill Belichick and went with Bruce Arians in Tampa and won a Super Bowl outside of the system. Because I don't know, I know Mess Round has the same feeling I do, but for the longest time, I always thought that Brady was a system quarterback.
Nope.
Because if you look at the backups that went in and did, and when Brady got hurt, you had Jacoby Brissett, you had Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep.
Look at those guys. Those guys came out, and then there was the other one, Matt Castle.
Yep.
All 3 of those guys came in and looked like superstars.
And they got paid.
And they got paid for it. But the thing is, it made you think that is Tom Brady really that good? Because look at who else is in the system and who all comes in and thrives. Because Castle took them to the playoffs when he was out for that season. So you have to start thinking that maybe Tom Brady is a lot better than we give a lot of credit for, and maybe he's not a system quarterback. I could give you another quarterback I still think is a system quarterback, and it's Brett Favre, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean,
remember you had Holmgren that came in, and then they replaced it. They replaced Holmgren with Ray Sherman, who was a Packers assistant coach. Then they brought in Ray Rhodes, who was a Packer coordinator. So you have to look at it and go, holy hell. Mike McCarthy, I think, might have been the only one that wasn't, but that was near the end of his career.
Yeah, I mean, I think Favre's biggest thing is, one, he didn't miss a game. I mean, that's he did have. I know some Packer fans are going to say he had all the weapons in the world. I don't think he had great caliber weapons. I mean, he had good weapons.
Yeah,
I
No,
think
the
what
thing
hurt
is-
him the most is his touchdown to interception ratio was just ridiculous.
Ridiculous. And the thing is, he also had great defenses that helped him
Yep.
in that area too. And I think with that, we could be running on a tangent here about Green Bay and Brett Favre, but
Yeah.
another
Topic for another day. But
yeah,
like when Favre came here, led us to the championship game, and he ran. I still say Brett Favre in his prime, he makes that first down.
Without a doubt.
Totally different. Yeah.
I'm still to this day wondering why he threw that ball. But
yeah. I don't know. But all right. So with that being said, let's get into our favorite closing topic, the blind five. For you guys that just tune in, this is one topic we don't share with the other person. So it could be football related, it could be whatever. And we see where we rank them. Tim got me last week with heights, and yeah. So I'll go first. Oh no, you know what, Tim? I'll let you go first because I like my topic.
All right, I like my topic too. Considering, and then I thought about it when I did it. I thought about, look at all this, how these games ended with clutch field goals. So I figured, if you want, clutch kickers, you want to kick your game winner. This is all time.
Okay.
But funny thing is, I only get to the 80s and 90s anyway. We're gonna see if I can kick you in the fields right now. Gary Anderson.
Oh God. Honestly, he was clutch. Indoors, outdoors, probably different top. I'm going to go number 2 with Gary Anderson.
I legitimately thought that the commentators screwed him so bad when they said Gary Anderson hasn't missed a field goal all season, and then
I was at my uncle was throwing a little party that day, and somebody in the background said that too. Watch, this will be the kick he misses because he hasn't missed one all year.
And then he shanks it left.
Yeah. Which is still shouldn't have came down. It shouldn't have came down to that field goal.
Should have never come down to that.
Team. Yeah. All right, so I got Gary Anderson at 2.
All right. My next one is Justin Tucker.
Ooh. Another good clutch guy. I'm going to go 1 on that one.
All right. These are all going to hurt you. These are all going to hurt you from the rest of the way out.
Probably.
My next one, Chris Jackie.
Chris Jackie.
The guy that kicked all those clutch ones for the Green Bay Packers in the 80s and the 90s.
Okay.
For Mikowski and Favre.
Yeah, just because he's a Packer. We'll put him at number 4.
Okay, cool. Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah, he was up there. I'll go through with Adam Vinatieri.
Okay. And then Matt Prater.
No, I guess he's number 5. Yeah, I'm not too bad with that list. I mean,
no,
I can't hurt Gary Anderson for that one kick. I mean, he was. I mean, I'd probably go drop Gary to 3 and put Vinatieri up there at 2, but I'm happy
my list was Vinatieri 1, Anderson 2, Jackie 3, Tucker 4, and Prater 5.
Okay. All right. So you went football theme. I'm going football theme. I'm going AFC side. I know you're a Colts fan. I know you want the Colts to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. I got 5 teams that if you had a choice to win the Super Bowl outside of the Colts, these are your 5 choices.
God, here comes.
We're going with the Jets.
No, forget that. 4. God, I hate them about as much as I hate the Chiefs and the Broncos.
The Dolphins.
3. You picked old AFC East rivals for us, right?
I know.
Okay.
Houston Texans.
Where did I say the Dolphins were? 3?
4. Or 3. I'm sorry, 3.
No, I like that one. Give me 2 on that one.
Okay. The Vegas Raiders.
Oh man, because I know it's never going to happen. Oh man, oh man, oh man. 'Cause I don't know who. This is the sad thing is I don't know who you got left. It's so much like playing a game at this point.
Yep.
I'm going to say, loving God, I have this really bad feeling, and I'm not going to say it out loud. Oh, give me Raiders 1.
Oh, who do you think I was going to say? Is it?
Golly, the Chiefs. I got a couple here: the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Bills.
No, I didn't go with any of them. Cleveland Browns.
Actually,
Yeah,
I know they're 5, but actually, that wouldn't be a bad one, honestly.
Yeah,
knowing that
Raiders win the team. I mean,
considering they're at, I know at this point they will win a Madden Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got Texas. I had the Texans, Raiders, Jets, Dolphins, and Browns. I think fan base wise, the Browns deserve one, but
yeah, it's not like they
who
don't
knows
have
if the Browns are going to even be relevant. I mean,
it's not like they don't have an NFL championship. It's just they don't have a Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right, Tim. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I like doing these. We're getting ready for week 2. I think we've got a couple. I'm trying to remember how many teams we got left. I think we did 6 the first week, 6 the second week, 6 the third week. So that means we're at 18. So that means we roughly have 14 left.
Yep.
Maybe I'll sneak in 7 next week and then 7 the week after. I like doing these. You really find out what people's thoughts are and who they think the face of the franchise is, who the goats of the franchise is. For those who have not noticed, if Kevin's still watching, notice that we still have not done the Chicago Bears or the Green Bay Packers or some others. The Detroit Lions, I don't think we've done yet, but we've got a bunch. We still got a bunch yet to do. So be patient.
No, definitely like doing this. All our topics, that we've done over the years. I mean, I think my funnest one though was when we did the weirdest laws. We may have to revisit that one down the road.
I can do that.
I don't think we need to do a whole show, but maybe we just pick our best dates and revisit some oldies. But
yeah.
No, with that being said, just keep checking us out. Me, Tim, Kevin, Chris, Wednesday nights for Primetime Blitz. We got Entertainment Hour tomorrow. I know me and Chris are talking about bringing baseball in for the playoffs, so might see that coming around. Like I said, a couple other people have some shows in the works. Tim and J-Mac definitely got a good one coming up.
Definitely an after hours one. Definitely an after hours one because
definitely going to be kind of like a Four Bros type show.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got going on? Congrats to the St. Paul Bears and Coach Cody on their first victory. Handling the Iowa Powers pretty handily. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. They had like 5 to 6 touchdowns called back due to penalties, so that game could have been just a blowout. One play, the guy got through unblocked. I think he had like a 12-yard, 15-yard sack. In arena football, that's huge. But yeah, so good luck to them, and good luck to them on week 2 when they play Wisconsin. Hopefully we get Cody on soon, and who knows, we may have special interviews coming up. I don't know one of Tim's favorite independent wrestlers put out there that he's looking to do some podcasting, so I can't wait to kind of talk to him and see if we can get him on. But with that being said, Between the Ropes, Monday nights.
The OTC Between the Ropes.
Yeah, the OTC Between the Ropes with myself, Chris, and Kevin on there. And you just never know who's going to pop up or what shows are going to pop up. We might just pop up a show just to talk nonsense. But with that being said, we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.